Hi, Anthony from RetailEdge. In the RetailEdge 8.2.84 release, we introduced a new basic PO importer. This importer allows you to create simple POs using our template in Excel or Libre Office, and then import them into RetailEdge. First, let's go get the template for the PO import utility. Let's select Tools, Import, and RetailEdge Templates. This will open up your web browser, and then select the purchase order CSV import template. And I'm going to go ahead and download that file. Let's then open the file in our spreadsheet software of choice. In this video, I'll be using Microsoft Excel. On the sheet, the fields in red are required, but let's go through them first in the vertical side. PO number is the purchase order number you provided your vendor. Vendor name is the vendor you are ordering from. Date order is the date you ordered your product. Date ship is the shipment date your vendor is sending the product. Date cancel is the date where you would cancel the order. Date payment is when you would be paying said vendor. Vendor note is the notes to your vendor or notes on your vendor. Store note is notes for your store. Terms would be the terms you set with your vendor. Ordered would be if you submitted to your vendor. This is a true-false field. Written by is the person who is writing the purchase order. And shipped to location is the location you are ordering for. This must match a location ID in your location settings. So you can see here, we have our file now with some information filled in. And I went ahead and I imported the file into RetailEdge. So you can see the purchase order number, the vendor, the written by, how that correlates to the written by on the file, the location, ship to location, the order dates, how that looks, the terms, and then if I go over to the notes field, you see my vendor notes pulled in and the store notes did as well. Next, let's go over the horizontal fields. This is the information for your items. Once again, the red fields are required. InvSKU would be your RetailEdge stock number. If it is an existing item in your inventory, use the stock number that is in RetailEdge. If it is a new item, then just fill in what you would like the stock number to be. If you're looking to change an existing item stock number, then you can. But in the import process, you would need to select a different field as the key field. InvDesk would be the RetailEdge description you would like the item to have. Loc name is the location that you would like the item to go to. This must match a location in your RetailEdge Loc ID list. If you're ordering items for multiple locations, you can do so. They will have to be put onto separate lines. Likewise, when you receive this purchase order, RetailEdge will generate a transfer order for you going to the other locations. Quant ordered is how many of the item you are ordering. Inv cost last is the cost of the product you're ordering. This is on a per item basis. Inv price was is the MSRP suggested retail price field in RetailEdge. This is what is used on some labels in RetailEdge, and it's also a way of showing discounting in RetailEdge. Inv price 1 is the typical selling price in RetailEdge. And then inv price 2, 3, 4, and 5 are additional price fields you can use. We most commonly see this used for differentiating pricing on web platforms such as Shopify, or for customer-based discounting, member price discounts. Went ahead, filled in some of this information. So you can see I have the new item I'm adding, but I'm ordering it for 2 separate locations on the same purchase order. Once again, that loc name has to be in your location list. So in RetailEdge, that would be Tools, Settings, Locations. And you can see I have my main and my warehouse, and that matches the values here. Put in how many of the items I'm ordering for each location. And we can see that on the purchase order here. So you can see that there's a total of 15. So on this screen, it's consolidated. But if I go in to the item itself, and you can see that I have my price information, my cost, And you can see here for price 5, I went ahead and changed it so that way, you know, if I was on Shopify or another web platform, I'm selling it a little bit cheaper up there. And then you can see the quantity of how many I'm ordering. So for my main location, I'm ordering 5, and for my warehouse, I'm ordering 10. Okay, going back to talk about some more of these fields, let's go to the envelope taxable. This would be if the item is taxable or not. This is a true false field where true sets the item to taxable and false sets it to non-taxable. Vendor ID is the vendor for the product. Department ID would be the department that you would like the product to go into. And then from here on, the rest of the fields are not required, but let's go through them. Class ID is the class that you would like the item to be attributed to. UPC 1 and UPC 2 would be the UPC codes that the vendor may have for the items. These fields, when populated with numerical value on barcodes on the product from the vendor, will allow you to scan it into RetailEdge. This can be used as a key import field. Part manufacturer is the manufacturer's part number for the product. This can be used as a key field when you import. Part vendor is the vendor part number. This also can be used as a key field when you import. Weight is the weight for the product. Export code. This would be the export code for the product. This is commonly used to tag products for web integrations like Shopify and such. User 1 through 5. These fields allow you to further categorize your items. For example, I could put in a season code for items, and if I want to quickly discount items that are out of season, I can apply a discount rule for the season tag, and RetailEdge will discount those items. There are 5 fields available for you to do this with. Price min is the minimum sales price for the item that you can set. Envelope min and max. These fields, when populated, would allow you to quickly reorder product when using the auto PO feature in RetailEdge. So if I set a minimum of 1 to 5 and a max of 1 to 10, if the item's quan field falls to 4, and I auto generate a PO for min max 1, RetailEdge will generate a PO for the item with the order quan of 6 to bring me to the max. There are 4 different min max fields, so you can set different values for seasons and such. Item ID is the unique RetailEdge item ID that RetailEdge generates for products. This is a recommended key field if you're wanting to change the stock number of an existing product. You cannot assign an item ID for new products. EBT. This is a true-false field as well. True sets the item to be EBT eligible, false does not. So I went ahead and further filled in this information. So you can see here that I set my items to be taxable by setting it to be true. Once again, if the items are non-taxable, you could use a false there. Put in a vendor ID, department, a class. I entered in the UPC value. That's what the vendor is providing. I'm using Excel, so Excel would change these to scientific notation. You can set these fields to text by right-clicking on them and then going ahead and selecting format the cell and then changing that to text, so that way it no longer does scientific notation. I did that on the UPC ones. The part number for the manufacturer and vendor, I went ahead and filled that in. I'm not putting a weight here, but you can go ahead and do that. For my Shopify store, I use SHP as my export code for that, so I put those in. For my user field, I put fall 2023, so that way I could go ahead and set up a discount rule in the future targeting anything with that tag in there, leaving those empty. And for my loc min max, I'm going to do 2 different values for my location. So my main store is going to have a min of 1 and 5, and my warehouse 1 and 10. And I repeated that, but you can go ahead and set your min max values however you like, and leaving item ID alone because RetailEdge will auto generate that for new product, and I'm setting it so that these items are not EBT eligible. So in my purchase order for my items, you can see here, if I go to location, This isn't, I haven't imported this file yet on the video, but just showing you how this populates and how this looks. And then under the miscellaneous tab, my UPC code, my web code, my export report code, and my user field is populated. So now that I have my file filled out, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save that file. So even though the template is a .xlsx file, RetailEdge, we're going to need it to be a CSV file. So I'm going to file, I'm going to save as, and I'm going to change this drop down. In Excel, I like to use the CSV MS-DOS because that forces Excel to save it as a true comma separated file. And I'm just going to go ahead and give it a different name. Save that, and then we have to close out of Excel. Back in RetailEdge, let's hit next in the import utility window, and you're going to get this prompt that it's important to back up your database before doing any imports. I'm going to go ahead and hit select next, and I'm going to confirm that I created a backup. I've done that off screen, so I'm just going to type in backup, hit OK. Let's talk about the two PO import utilities. The PO import ready format is a more powerful import, but it is much more complex, as it can handle matrix items and case breaks. In this video, we will not be going over this import. We'll be selecting purchase order, CSV, and hit next. So next I'm going to select my file folder to locate my file, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit next. On this screen, you can select the key field you want RetailEdge to use. The key field is what matches an item on the spreadsheet to an item in RetailEdge, preventing inadvertent duplicate items from being created. I'm going to keep it on stock number and hit next. This is the mapping screen. Take note of the fields under the RetailEdge field name column. The bolded fields are the required fields. So under the CSV field name column, they will need to be mapped. Being we're using a CSV template, the headers match, so it's mapped automatically. But as an example, I can go ahead, select a header, and hit the drop down, and then select a different field if I want to map that one instead. And you can select a header that's already been used. The update existing item field column is where you can tell the utility to update or not to update existing item fields. So if you are not looking to update certain information for existing items, uncheck the box for that field. For new items, the checkboxes are ignored, and RetailEdge will populate the field if there is information in the CSV file. I'm going to go ahead and hit the All button to select all the fields to update, and then I'm going to hit Next. I'm going to go ahead and start the import process. Once it is done, hit Exit. You're going to get the confirmation that it's completed and that it imported the total of records. I'm going to hit Exit there. I get the confirmation that the import was successful here. And would I like to close this utility and view the newly imported PO? I'm going to go ahead and hit Yes. And then here goes our purchase order. But there we have it. How to use the new CSV based PO import utility. If you like the content we're putting up, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, hit that button as well. If you'd like to find out some more information about us, please visit us at RetailEdge.com. Have a great day.